Welcome, John and Adam from TruFit Adaptive Fitness to Autism Spa. Really great to have you here. We met up through some other connections earlier this month, and I was just amazed at what you're doing for really the disabled youth community from a fitness standpoint. So important. I wanted to get you on here. I wanted to learn about your background, what motivated you to do this, and what you hope to achieve. So, Adam, tell me how you got here.
So I got here because of my brother John. To be honest, he was living in California and working with people with a variety of different disabilities as a personal trainer. Started working with the Arc of San Diego to develop an inclusive program there. I happened to go down and visit and volunteer and work, before COVID with some in-person group classes. And for me, that was very life-changing. Just the feeling that I got, there's that full heart of just, comfort and just positivity from working with them. And, through talks with my brother, he sort of brought it to my attention that there are very few inclusive, very, fitness-focused programs, except for very, in local communities. There's, a personal trainer here or there, or some PTs and OTs, but it's very limited on the options and even less limited on options that were affordable. So we started talking and, ended up coming up with this idea of what if we could take technology and sort of replicate my brother's mind in a way. That's how I always look at it. I'm like, how does my brother think? If he has 10 people in a classroom with these different disabilities, how does he make that class inclusive? And so what we worked on was developing a filtering system that would work. So an individual could go into an app and select some basic unique characteristics that were unique to them. And then the filtering system would really filter out exercises that were not applicable to them and then set them up for success from day one. And that was the original idea. And then as we started working on that, we realized that community was very important to keep these adaptive athletes on track and motivated and accountable. So we started building in a social network as well. So now we have a platform where we can connect organizations, PTs, OTs, doctors, parents, schools, and bring all of them together to support the individual athletes. And that's what we're working on doing now. We've just launched the app about 3 months ago, and we're doing a lot of outreach to organizations and schools and working with other companies to help us build this community. And essentially, when we are successful, because I feel pretty confident that we will be, I think we're going to have built a global community that really focuses on improving health and wellness for people with disabilities.
So, John, how did you? Adam's blaming you for this. So
yeah, I know. Wow,
it's all his fault.
I got that thrown on me. Long story, short as can be. I got started in the Navy with fitness. I was an air traffic controller, if you can imagine, up in a control tower, moving airplanes around and making sure everybody was safe. And wasn't soldiery. Kind of military job. But at one point I got injured and I got into kind of fitness as a way to rehabilitate myself and then started to help people at my command who needed a little bit of help getting into shape. And I started to realize that for a lot of folks, the information just wasn't there. We had never been really explained what to do. And like I told somebody the other day, fitness was kind of that idea of like, well, if you have a car, then you must be your own mechanic as well, right? And a lot of people, they don't fit in that role. They have their other hobbies and their jobs that they do. And so fitness sometimes could take that back seat. So I saw a role that I could fill in and start to help people with learning about fitness, learning about exercise. I got out of the Navy to pursue a career in fitness because I just saw how important it was to, for me at that time, help guys to try to stay in the military past that PRT. And then that became helping my brother. And he had a daughter, my niece, to help him get into shape when I moved in and I lived with my brother and my niece. And you can imagine me just getting out of the military and being a young personal trainer ready to change the world. And first I had to start with my own family member. That was right there. It was number one for me. I found the best way to get a parent in shape is to try to get their kid exercising. If the kid is wanting to do lunges and a push-up challenge with mom and dad, there's maybe a chance mom and dad will. And if maybe mom and dad don't feel comfortable with that, again, if the younger child is excited about it, maybe the parent will decide that, this is something that we're going to decide to do ourselves. The other thing I found is that you had to really start with the success point. Fitness, a lot of times it's all about competition and who can run faster and jump higher than who. And I saw it as about, well, what skills do you have so that you can help others? And how is that helping you to live your best life? And so in a nutshell, it was to take, what we had learned of finding these success points, finding exercises that made people want to come back to work out, not to feel like you were just, beat up. And we started TruFit. We started TruFit as a way to get families in shape, to what I said, to teach mom and dad how to teach their kid how to exercise when the kid was asking, how do I exercise, mom and dad? How do I know this is important for me? And I want to learn. And so that was our goal and our mission. And that led us to meeting with families who had a son or a daughter with a disability or a unique ability. And they were saying, hey, I've been told my son or daughter can't do this, but I think there's a way, and I would agree and collaborate. And, the next thing you know, I'm here at the Arc of San Diego meeting hundreds of individuals with different abilities and finding ways that we can all engage together, finding ways that we could also have successes together where people can come back again and again and share their achievements and share, hey, guess what I did yesterday when I went home? I've never done this before in my life, or having a parent say, my child, exhibited this behavior and I had no idea that this was capable. I saw that's not what you get at a commercial gym. It's not what you get as a personal trainer working with, people who want to beat other people. It's a special community here that we're a part of. And instantly when I saw the lack of the fitness community, I don't know why. And I didn't care to bother to find out why. In the fitness world, this is considered a special population. It's in the back of the textbook. It only gets about 2 pages. That there's something not right there. And that now I'm getting my goosebumps. And so for me, when I realized, I was like, hey, I've been 12 years now in the industry, from the Navy here to the Arc, and all of this information that I know, I'm realizing these caretakers don't know. Mom and dad, they don't know. And the individual, Nick, he wants it. He wants to be here working out, getting stronger. How do we make this happen? And so I started to write a book. And I started to write a book that documented everything I was witnessing and seeing, and making a game plan. For me, it was a coffee table book. It could sit on your coffee table. You could pick it up, flip through it, discover exercises, read about instructions, find adaptive ways to make it work for you so that you're successful. And then you would build upon that. That book has now led us into thinking, well, what's the book of the 22nd century? We got to get with the time, get with the future. So we created the app. And so now the app is expandable. We started with 150 exercises. We're up to over 185 exercises. So we keep adding to it now, working with new equipment, working with new individuals, and having our users actually start to submit their success stories in their exercises, and becoming team leaders, becoming peer mentors and role models within the community. Individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities who are identifying in their mind as a fitness individual first. And to me, that was important. For me, I identify as, now a father. I have a 7-week-old, 8-week-old daughter. I identify as a surfer. I identify as a coach. And so those identities can kind of lead my decision-making throughout the day. Well, if somebody's identity is that, but you can't do this, or this is too hard for us, or this, then that identity is going to carry throughout the day. And so for me, TruFit was about, finding that success point, building upon it. And really for me, I wanted to empower the parents, the individuals. Absolutely. There's a lot of individuals on our program who personally use it themselves independently. but also as important is the 360 degree, who's interacting with this individual all the time. Even myself as a coach, I might only get an hour or two a week, a PT an hour or so, maybe every other week or a month or a year. We see our physician, not all the time. And so the family members, if we empower them, brothers and sisters, best friends, mom and dad, who aren't fitness mom and dad yet, but through our programming are going to say, and I see it all the time, hey, I can do that. I have people come into our program all the time. Hey, this looks like something we could do at home. And it's like, absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It is. And that's why we work so hard to make it the way it is now, easily accessible, easy to set your account up, and then to even track your own progress. You can see when you first started an exercise, you were maybe at a level that we would call 3B, say, but now a month later you're at 3A, which is a significant increase on the app. Well, that's something you can be proud of. That's something you can unlock a badge for, and maybe within your own personal fitness plan. So instead of an IEP, we have a individual fitness plan here that we can create on the app, and we can make sure we're hitting those goals. What I think is interesting is I've seen school IEPs where the semester goal is something that we can accomplish in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
If we just took the right steps. You know what I mean?
Like, no, I've seen it. Sometimes the bar is so low in those IEPs, and every parent like myself has seen it. It's just shocking. And then we have to fight for 1 or 2 hours of OT a week, just something completely abysmal that really doesn't advance that person's quality of life in whatever abilities they have. So I hear you. I get it, and I've lived it. I've seen it. Other parents like me have, especially from an autism standpoint, but there's other, disabled kids that are struggling. So I'd be curious, how do you develop a program, let's say for someone with autism, other disabilities, or other abilities? How do you segment that?
So the first thing you can do when you set up your profile is you can select that, say you're seated adaptive, or that you need some assistance. Maybe you're independent. But you can select that right off the bat. That will then tell the program that some exercises might not apply for you. You can always go back and see everything that's available by selecting as an independent user. But say you selected it, you needed some assistance, and so what you could do is you could then go through in every exercise, we have what we call a baseline. And an idea of, say, an individual who enjoys technology, who enjoys browsing and scrolling through images and watching videos, well, they could do that on the app. They could create a playlist, maybe themselves, or maybe yourself as you're scrolling through, and you're saying, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Add to playlist, add to playlist. And what you're going to be able to do is, using that baseline as your assessment, you find, well, do we have to need to drop below that, or are we actually going above that? Because you can take every exercise 5 levels up or down. And so as you develop that assessment, you easily identify the areas that we need to find improvement on. And we have the program developed into easy to identify categories like accuracy, hand-eye coordination, foot-eye, teamwork, meditation, and breath work exercises even have a category. So there's areas of interest. And then what we do is we find those reinforcers, those exercises that we love, and then we find the exercises that we need to work on. And we work in the reinforcers with the improvement exercises until we see the body starting to not only respond to the physical stimulus, but hopefully in my situation, I see a huge mental improvement. When you become confident in what your body can do, then your body can really start to do things. My friend Nick sitting next to me is a great example of that. We have a lot of great examples of when the mind starts to believe that it's possible, then the governor comes off, so to speak. And so, that's what we try to do. We try to set it up to where it can be very user friendly, to where you can select you can select favorites. And imagine your son's working with a brand new coach we've never met before, but the coach is on the app, your son's on the app. Well, that coach can now browse through those favorites, find out what level your son was achieving them at, and right off the bat say, hey, I recognized you. You like doing the balance beams. I already have that set up for us, and I got it set up just the way you like it. And we've never even met before, but all of that information is there. And that's my wife. And she has my power cable. And so
Here you go.
I did. So I do. I have a newborn. I
Oh,
got a lot. I forgot my charging cable for my computer this morning, and my amazing wife,
This
who
happens all the
just
time.
traveled from Carlsbad to San Marcos with our newborn daughter.
oh, wow.
I was at 10% and I had not said anything yet.
Well, good. So it's a team environment, obviously, brother, wife, and your associate there. So it takes a lot. It takes a village. The programs are kind of customizable. What I like about kind of this conversation is that we're trying to improve quality of life. And a lot of folks, not a lot, but there's segments in especially the special needs community where they have a tough time dealing with the disability. They sometimes pray for a cure. They pray for an out. It causes a lot of depression to that individual and to the people around them. But fitness is just what to us human beings is the natural, kind of a aphrodisiac to the mind. It just kind of pumps you up and gets you feeling better. And as you said, it gets your mind set in the right course. So you start feeling good about yourself. Whether you're a nonverbal individual on the autism spectrum or you're ambulatory or otherwise, all of this stuff helps your spirit. The physical thing is just how we get to the spirit, right? How we fine tune the spirit. So tell me about the company itself. Now, where are you from a business standpoint, and where do you want to go in the next year or so?
So right now, we just launched the app about 3 months ago. And what we're doing is outreach, to organizations like Best Buddies, the ARC, other ARC chapters. We're already working with a few, but we're trying to get out to all of them. The idea for us is to offer this program to the nonprofits essentially for free. We don't charge them to set up a group. We want their members to then, it's an affordable program. So it's $10 a month or $9.99 a month, right, through the app stores. And so what we want them to do is get their members to join their groups, and that requires, the subscription. And the idea is for us to develop these sort of individual communities throughout the country. And, also we have one already started up in Canada. And so the idea is to start forming these communities, and then these communities all become one big community. And that is our plan, right? Is to get there and get these communities supporting our adaptive athletes. That's the goal. We're currently working through a fundraising round. Going through our seed round right now and doing that, and just getting ready to launch that to help expand our marketing, build our team. For the longest time, we have become bootstrap masters. And my brother and I, it was just us. We have a good friend of ours, Stephen Ritter, who has come in just recently as our director of business development. We have another good friend of ours, Fahad Hussein, who has also come in to work as our CTO. So we are expanding the team so we can, accomplish more quickly, get the marketing out there so more people know about us. I think the biggest hurdle we have in terms of marketing is not selling the person, because I think they get it when they see it. It's letting them know we exist, because for however long they have been alive, they have not had this option really presented to them in an effective manner, in an affordable manner. And we're here to change that. So, a lot of times we're talking with parents or organizations, and, and almost, it's almost sort of scripted in a way. They're like, a lot of them are like, it's about time this happened. That's sort of the feeling we get, and the responses we get is, wow, we've always wanted something like this, but we've never known for anything like this to exist. And that, for me, and I know for John as well, that's extremely validating and heartwarming for us, because we're pouring our lives into this. We're very passionate about what we're doing, and we want to help as many people as possible. And to get those responses, consistently, is just really a fulfilling, that's a fulfilling day for me when I meet people like that.
I know. So same here. And I think from our last conversation, potential partners or people you would like to be connected with could be regional centers that obviously are one of the first lines of defense for families dealing with disabilities, autism or not. One thing I may have mentioned is YMCAs. they have health fitness programs, and obviously they're connected nationwide. It'd be great for you guys to kind of partner with them, and because they could use it. And then I think you mentioned, insurance companies, and there's also so many other organizations that would benefit from having a program. So they don't have to invent it themselves. All they have to do is leverage you guys and kind of plug you into their existing system, and give families an option to expand in the very, very narrow field that they're subjugated to. Which is, like I said, for me, it's 1 or 2 hours of OT that I had to fight for in my IEP, for my son's IEP. It's ridiculous. Otherwise, I have to get a nanny or a coach or somebody at home, and then it's just so much. So the more we can automate and make this conversation more efficient, I feel the better for the individual. And of course, it should be a sustainable economic model so you can keep doing it and keep expanding it and improving it. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. So you're looking for your next round of funding. Is that where I understood you right?
Correct. Yeah, we're currently working on raising $1 million, and that's our target goal for raise. And trying to get out there, and that we've identified will help build the team, get the marketing out there, continue technology development. We're going to work into wearables. GPS tracking, some additional things like that, just to bring more value to the athletes, so they can see and monitor what they're doing. And then also, their families and organizations and all their support around them can also see how they're progressing and improving their quality of life as well.
It's amazing. I love it. The website is?
It's gettrufit.com, and that's GETTRUFIT.com.
Okay, we'll have it on the link. Adam, John, company, thank you so much for doing what you're doing first, and then really focusing on what's really important, which is really the spirit through the body, because that's ultimately what's going to sustain you and that individual in their lifetime, and to be as independent as they possibly can and improve their quality of life. So. Thank you for what you're doing. I wish you great success. And I'm one of your friends here in San Diego that's in your corner. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
We got to get you out to the beach and go surfing with John.
I will. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.